Hey everyone, welcome back to the range. My name is Matt. We've got an ammunition test to do today, but it's a little bit of a mashup. It also involves that body armor that you see back there. I've never done this caliber on our channel before, but I have some 8mm Mauser to run against some body armor today. If you've been a subscriber on my channel for quite some time, you know that not only do you need velocity to defeat some kinds of body armor, you also need special construction, and that's exactly what we have here today. Alden over at the Mauser crate was kind enough to donate some of this 8mm Mauser that has a tungsten core. It's the SMKH version. We've gone ahead and sacrificed one of these so that we could get an idea of what the core looks like, and we can do all the measurements, and we even did a positive material identification on this core to see exactly what percentage of the material makeup is tungsten. It's interesting to note that the Germans were actually some of the first to start using tungsten in their ammunition during World War II. Since I'm the self-proclaimed king of armor destruction, I definitely had to get my hands on some of this SMKH ammo to test. On my channel, I stick to some NIJ constants whenever possible for armor testing. I shoot at 45 feet, that is the official NIJ testing distance. I shoot at 0 degrees whenever possible, that is the worst case scenario for the armor. I use this giant clay briefcase that you see here filled with Roma Plastilina #1 clay donated by Chavant. This provides us with a compressible media for the armor to rest against. Our armor of choice today is an LA Police Gear Level 4 10x12. It's got an alumina, the white ceramic strike face. These are very tough but budget-friendly plates, and since I have the most abundance of them, I figured that would be a good test subject. It's about 75 to 80 degrees outside today and sunny. We also use a chronograph, a Pro Chrono Digital DLX, whenever possible, so we can capture the velocity of our rounds. I only have one barrel length afforded to me. This is my grandfather's gun. It's a Sporterized 98 model Mauser with a 24-inch barrel, so I think that's the K model, or maybe he cut the barrel down shorter. Now, if we get a penetration at the NIJ testing distance, I will step back to 50 and 100 yards to make some subsequent shots. That Model 98 does have a scope on it, and we've got a lead sled. Alden did say some of this ammunition is susceptible to hang fire, so we'll be really careful there if we get a dud that we're waiting a little bit. But if I can't make those shots, because I only have a limited amount of this ammunition, fear not, because R.A.N.G.E over at AK Operators Union, he has a second channel called the Vintage Rifle Shooters Club, and he has some of this SMKH ammo from the Mauser crate, and I just sent him 4 of those LA Police Gear Level 4 plates. We've got our plates strapped up and we're ready to make some sparks fly. I have 2 variations of the SMKH ammunition. I have this plain Jane copper colored full metal jacket version right here, and I have this black colored one as well. Since we have a brand new plate and I have an extra, I'm going to take a shot out of each to make sure there's no differences, although from what I've read, it's just a variation in the coloring just to designate that this is the SMKH ammunition. Got our chronograph set up. Hopefully we don't get any hang fires here. That's why I'm using the lead sled today. So this first shot will be on the left side up by the upper circle. 29.47, good velocity. I do believe this ammunition is corrosive as well. I think pretty much all 8mm would be considered corrosive, so definitely clean your gun after use. Then the second shot will be on the right-hand side, about halfway down. A little lower velocity off that. That might be a good data point. Let's go see what we did. All right, here were our 2 shots from our SMKH ammunition, more than 2 inches away from each other. Those are considered a fair hit when it comes to testing body armor. This one was far enough away from the edge too that we should be on solid ceramic. Place those bets in the comments below. Forgive the gimbal if it's not cooperating. It likes to randomly shift itself to the side a lot when I'm doing this by myself. Straps, come on. Ouch. Ruh-oh, Raggy. Chuckles, I'm in danger, folks. We got 2 clean pass-throughs right there. Even at the second one that was about 100 feet per second slower, doesn't look like those guys were slowing down anytime soon. Now, this is only one type of ceramic used for body armor. This is the alumina or aluminum oxide. It's the white stuff. There's silicon carbide, which is harder. It's also, I think, less dense and lighter. And then there's B4C or boron carbide, which is the hardest and also the lightest. And that typically excels at defeating tungsten. I think we're going to need to step this guy back and see what it can do at 100 yards if I can hit this target. Let's get set up for that. Okay, it took me a hot minute to get this set up, but we have our level 4 plate at 100 yards. We have it off the table, so we're trying to shoot as close as 0 degrees as possible. You can see the LA police gear down there with the 2 red pieces of duct tape on it. I'll zoom back out here, scrolly, scrolly, scrolly. Hey, there I am. I do not have our monitor down here, so you have to forgive me and just use the laptop here. The point of impact versus the commercial end, this ammunition is quite a bit different. The Remington 170 grain stuff that I was shooting was spot on, and then I shot some of this, and I was about 1.5 feet high and put a hole in one of my steel targets. So we have this dialed in now. We'll take a shot from each, the plain tip and then the black painted colored one, and then we'll go check out what we did. Looks like I hopefully was on. I might have pulled that one a little bit. We'll take one more shot with our plain Jane color tip. The black painted stuff is getting a lot of misfires. I couldn't get any of them to go off, so we'll take this last shot. Hopefully we can hit our target. I sent one just a second ago way off to the right through my clay briefcase. I don't know why it's off. Unless I jerk the trigger, which is possible. All right, I heard that hit that plate. Let's go see what we did. Just one of those days, folks. All right, our first shot at 100 yards was right here. We're kind of close to the edge there, but it looks like we were on a piece of ceramic there. Maybe not in the complete epicenter, but we were on ceramic at this shot. And then, stupid me, I don't know how this one ended up way down there, but it did. The last black tip that I got to go off was right over here, and I was aiming over here, so I'm not sure why that dropped that much. So I came back. I only moved the scope about 1 MOA to the left, and here was our second shot at 100 yards with the plain Jane SMKH. This one I'm not sure I'd consider a fair hit based on how close that is to there, and we've probably smoked the ceramic, but place those bets out in the comments below. Oh, my clay is absolutely murdered. R.A.N.G.E, we've got penetrations there and there. With as clean as these holes are coming through here, this may be a 200+ yard threat that you would need to be able to stop this. Zoom in a little bit here. I will definitely talk to Rob over at the Vintage Shooters Club and suggest that he start his test a little farther out if possible, because these things are just not slowing down. Now, I may be able to get some more of this, so if you guys want to see this against maybe RMA's 1189, that ceramic's a lot thicker. I think it's almost a 1/2 inch thick. That actually might do it. But again, based on those holes, I think we found one. Something from World War II that defeats Modern body armor, even at range. She may be geriatric, but she's dressed to impress. This 80-year-old tungsten core 8mm load pretty much has eclipsed almost everything that I've tested against body armor on this channel, except for maybe, you know, 338 Lapua and our M993 762 NATO. This is pretty much the start, from what I understand, of the use of tungsten as a projectile core, and it is no slouch. Even out of a 24-inch barrel, we were seeing over 2,900 feet per second with this 192 grain loading. The black tip variant was a little bit slower, but still at 190 some grains, we're cooking out of a 24-inch barrel. At our NIJ test distance of 45 feet, this round completely just blew right through it. And even when we stepped out to 100, these rounds had no problem penetrating it or an AR-500 steel target that I had behind the aiming target that I was trying to use to get the point of impact down on this when I was making adjustments on the scope. I would say if I can get my hands on more of this, I only have the one round left, the other three were all duds. I would certainly like to test this against RMA's 1189 plate or something made out of B4C. And with that being said, that's about all I have for you all. I'm really looking forward to Rob over at Vintage Rifle Shooters Club results of testing this same round. I wonder if he'll go out to 200 yards. I'd also like to thank Alden over at the Mauser crate for having some of this available for us to get our dirty little paws on it. And of course, number 3 is you all for watching. Until next time, I'll catch you at the range. 8mm Mauser, but this is a little bit special. Alden over at the Mauser crate at 100 yards, 3/8 AR-500 armor, or a steel target from R.A.N.G.E, smoked clean through that guy. Pretty clean hole. That was because I had the point of impact too high on our scope.